Hey guys, in this video, I want to go over how to 1.5 to 3x your call volume with a proven setter. And I'm going to go over how exactly to train a setter up, get them performing, get them booking more calls for you, higher show rates, higher close rates, everything. Whether you have leads that are ghosting you after sales calls, leads that are not showing up to sales calls, leads that are opting in but not booking a call, leads that are coming in warm, but then suddenly go cold. Whatever the case is, I'm going to help you solve this by using a proven setter and showing you exactly how to train and ramp them up. For context, we have placed well over 150 setters through our agency with other agencies, coaching businesses, info businesses, generated well over 8 million for clients directly through our setters. The average client will 1.5 to 3x their call volume with us, and the average client will increase their revenue by 20,000 a month within a 60-day period without changing any other variables. Top clients have added 6 figures a month. All depends on where you start, but those are our numbers. So the industry average for ramping up an appointment setter is 30 days. We bring that down to about a week. So we 4x the speed at which a setter will come in and hit KPI. There's 3 big things that we focus on here. Number 1 is obviously you need a proven candidate. If your setter is not competent and they're not the right fit, then all of this will be a waste of time and resources for you. So we have a 5-stage vetting funnel that filters for coachability, commitment, and skill. Setters don't come in and learn on the client's dime. So I will make a separate video of how exactly we vet setters, but in this video, we're going to focus specifically on what we do with them. So pre-built custom SOPs, before the setter touches a single lead, they have access to our 7-figure follow-up cadences, speed to lead protocols, tracking systems, triage frameworks, everything. What we do is once we found a perfect fit for a client, we will do ICP specific mock calls with them. So we will map out the client's ICP in detail. So like typical goals, pain points, objections, limiting beliefs. And then we will run mock calls with that setter using that ICP map. Once we go through that and they actually pass, our criteria, it will sound like they've been dialing for your offer already before they actually start on it. So they come in, we give them all the SOPs, they start making dials. Or DMs if it's a DM setting offer. We go live and we do daily coaching calls. So everything is front-loaded support in this first week. So we will focus on basically having a call with them every single day where we're shadowing them and giving them live feedback. That's for the first week. After the first week, we pull back depending on what level of, support that they need, because any good setter is not going to want to be micromanaged. So we front load the support and then we pull back. Then we are focusing also on giving them live feedback in Slack. So during the day, if they have any questions like, hey, how do I follow up with this lead in the best way possible? Or what do you guys think of this call? They will ask us the question and we're there in Slack to help them. Now, KPIs. So one thing that we're looking at, especially during the first week, is, at the end of every day, the setter submits a report to us and the client of everything they did that day, how many dials they made, how many DMs they sent, how many follow-ups they did, how many leads they set, how many showed, how many closed, everything. And so with that data, we're able to track the conversion metrics at each of those steps. And since we already know what that number should look like if everything is dialed properly, then we can basically see, okay, do we have a bottleneck here? If so, okay, how do we fix it? So we have a very quick feedback loop for the setter, and we're able to fix bottlenecks very quickly with the data. All right, next thing is management. So obviously, once you have a setter who's ramped up, the next most important thing is to make sure that they continue to perform and actually exceed their KPIs. So there's a beginning of day, clear daily goal that is set at the beginning of every day with one of our managers. And that's tied directly to yesterday's bottleneck. So if yesterday the bottleneck was that we didn't get as many dials as we should have, or we didn't convert as many conversations to set calls as we should have, That will be the goal for the next day. We're going to solve that problem. We're going to give them a game plan on how to solve it. We're always going to work on the thing that is going to move the needle the most. Middle of the day, we give them live Slack feedback. So this is what I was saying earlier. They'll send us questions. We'll respond within a couple hours at most and help them out. That way, they always have access to support. And then end of day, they submit their full report, dials, pickups, conversations, calls offered, calls booked, shows, offers made, closes, cash collected. Our typical benchmarks for most clients, this does vary depending on the client and industry, is $100 to $150 per day, a 70% plus show rate. On cold funnels, it's 70% as our goal. On warmer funnels, we have clients who have 80 to 90% show rates. So it really depends on the industry and the funnel. And then 30% conversations to set. So over the phone, when we're on the phone with somebody having a triage, we should be booking 30% or more of those people. If it's DM conversations, we should be booking 10% or more. And this is like absolute minimum benchmarks. For example, we have a client who is getting 60% conversation to set. So the setter, when they're on the phone with somebody, is booking 60% of those people into qualified sales calls. Now, after the 7-day ramp, we have a quick sync daily. I would say minimum 1 to 3 times per week if you don't have the capacity to do it daily. The structure for these is you go over wins. So client wins, setter wins, new closes. One of the biggest things is making sure that your setter has conviction in the offer that they're selling. Because if they don't, even if it's subconscious, they will not do as good of a job. Then they're on track earnings. You want to make sure that they very clearly understand what they can make in this role so that you can align everybody's incentives. KPI accountability. So diagnose missed KPIs. If there's any KPI that has been missed, you got to figure out if they are lacking resources to get their job done properly. Maybe they don't have, the right script, or they don't have the right SOPs to get their job done properly. And if that's the case, we can solve that. That's not a problem. But if they are choosing not to do the work, in which case it would be a behavioral issue, that's when you have to replace them. Live conversation reviews. Okay, so pull up actual DMs or call recordings with them on call and review it together. Provide feedback. Also run mock calls with them to ensure they've actually digested the feedback and can implement it. Also, discuss what the biggest struggle was for them as well. You want to make sure that we're making their life easy as well so that they actually enjoy their job. So if there's anything we can do to help them out, to help them be more efficient with their job, then we're going to cover that as well. Now, that is pretty much what we're going to be looking at in terms of ramping them up and managing them from a very high level perspective. But if you can do this consistently, you will be golden, especially if you have the right appointment setter.